Hang them on the holiday tree, decorate a winter wreath, or embellish a special gift. My pinecone ornaments will span the season from Thanksgiving and into the new year. Change the yarn for interest and color for impact. Acrylic, cotton, nylon, and metallic yarns each add their own textural and visual interest. Simply adjust the size of the hook to suit the yarn and size the pine cone. Plus, they are so easy to make. The companion pattern is available by following the link in the description below.
So I made a slip knot and I'm going to chain 2. In the second chain from the hook, I'm going to work 4 single crochets to start. Now I want the end on the outside, so I'm going to hold it like here, and I can work around it and over it. That's number 2. Here's 3, and here's 4. So I'm going to continue to work 3 more rounds, and all I'm going to do is put 1 single crochet in each of the stitches. Now I'm inserting my hook under the top 2 loops and working a single crochet. And there's our little stem. So now we're going to continue with a slip stitch into the next stitch and to join the round, and we're going to chain 3. In the base of the chain, we're going to work 2 more double crochets. Then in each of the next 3 stitches, we're going to work 3 double crochets. And here we're at the final stitch, because there's 4 stitches in that round. And that's our 3rd double crochet. When you finish this, you can see how it's starting to shape up a little bit. We just slip stitch into the top of the chain, top of it's not a turning chain, it's just a chain up, but we slip stitch into the top of it to close the round. Now we're going to chain 3, which counts as 1 double crochet, and then work a double crochet at the base of that chain, right there, under both loops. There we go. Then we're going to work 2 double crochets in each of the stitches around. So when we get to the end of the round, we have 24 double crochets, counting that chain 3 at the beginning as a double crochet, and we're just going to slip stitch into the top of that first stitch. Now we're moving on to round 3, and we're going to chain 3 again, which we will count as a double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. So we have 2 double crochets in a row. Then we're going to do a popcorn stitch in the very next stitch, and we're going to work 5 double crochets into this stitch. Now this is the part that you have to understand the best way to do this. Remember, we want the bumps to be on the right side, and this is the right side. So we need, after we do our 5 double crochets into the same space, we're going to turn it. And then we're going to count back to the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here's the first one. We're going to go under both loops and we're going to slip stitch. Then we turn it back and continue to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. By turning the popcorn stitch, we force the bump to be on the side that we want to have as the right side. So we've worked our 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, then we're doing another popcorn. And we're going to do this all the way around. So let's do it together one more time. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after a while, you'll see that really is easy to spot the fifth one. We turn our work and slip stitch right into the first double crochet of that popcorn stitch, which is the fifth double crochet from the end. Then we turn it back and we work one double crochet in each of the next two stitches. This is our last popcorn of the row. That's 4. Here's number 5. Turn it, count back, slip stitch, turn it back, and then we already have our 2 double crochets at the beginning. All we have to do is slip stitch to the top of the first stitch to join that round. And that gave us 8 of these little bumps. Now row 4 is interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. We're going to count that as a double crochet once again. And then we're going to do 1 popcorn in the next space between the 2 double crochets. So here's our double crochet of the row below, and here's our second double crochet. That's where we're going to put our popcorn stitch. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Now, we turn it just like before. Now the first one, which was the first stitch, belongs in between the popcorn. So we're slip stitching in the 5th double crochet from the hook, and that starts off this row. Then we're going to work 1 double crochet between the next double crochet and the popcorn stitch. You're going between the stitches, okay? And then you're not going into the top of any more of the stitches. You're going in between them. Then we're going to go to the other side of the popcorn, and between that popcorn stitch and the first double crochet, we're going to put the second double crochet. So you see that staggers the popcorns in between. So between the next double crochet, or between the 2 double crochets between the popcorns, we're going to put our next popcorn. So we are going to put 5 double crochets right into the space. We're working in the space. And 1 more. Turn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slip stitch right into the top of that one and turn it back. Then we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to skip the next double crochet and put a double crochet between the double crochet and the next popcorn stitch. That's our first double crochet. We're going to skip the popcorn and put the second double crochet on the other side of the popcorn. That actually does 2 things. It accentuates these popcorn stitches because you're kind of tucking them together and locking them to that side. And it also sets us up for our next popcorn between the 2 double crochets. And then we're going to go all the way around this round just like that. So we're getting around. I did 5 double crochets in that last space. I'm going to do my slip stitch to form the popcorn, turn it back, and then I'm going to find the space right before the last popcorn on the row below and work a double crochet. The chain up already is the double crochet on this side, so all I have to do is slip stitch into the top of it to join the round. Now can you see how nice that looks? Now we're ready to begin round 5. It's the exact same thing as the last row, except how you begin it and end it. So we're going to chain our 3, count that as a double crochet, jump over to the space on the other side of the popcorn and work a double crochet. That gives us our 2 double crochets and centers that popcorn stitch. Then in the next space we're going to work the popcorn, which is right between the 2 double crochets on this side. And when we get to the end, we've already done the surrounding ones for this one, so all we have to do is slip stitch right into the top. Let's get that better. Right into the top of that first stitch to join the round. And we're going to repeat row 4 and row 5 twice more. That just lengthens the pine cone. And I'll meet you when I get there. This is row 10. It's the first of the decrease rows. So we're going to chain 3, and you're going to count that as 1 double crochet. Then right in the space, right there, we're going to work our first popcorn. This is done just like the other popcorns. So we'll just fast forward over this because you've done it so many times already. So there's our 5. Turn it just like before and work a slip stitch in the 5th double crochet from the hook. This is where the decrease begins. Normally we put a double crochet before the popcorn and a double crochet after the popcorn. What we're going to do is we're going to do a double crochet 2 together around the popcorn. So yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop like you're going to do a double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, reserve that extra loop on the hook. That's an incomplete double crochet. Then we're going to go yarn over, insert on the other side of that popcorn stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. That reserves a 3rd loop, which is 3 loops on hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. You've just done a double crochet 2 together around the popcorn. And we're going to do that around the next popcorn too. We're just going to skip right over that side and not do a popcorn stitch there and begin the double crochet 2 together around the next popcorn. Yarn over, pull through all 3. You now have 2 double crochet 2 togethers right in a row, and that is a missing popcorn stitch right there. Then we're going to work a popcorn here, turn it, slip stitch into that 5th double crochet from the hook, and then we're going to immediately do a double crochet before the next popcorn and double crochet after the next popcorn stitch. And you're going to do that twice. So another popcorn in here. There's our 5 double crochets. Turn it, slip stitch, turn it back, and then around the next popcorn you're going to do a double crochet in front of it and a double crochet in back of it in the regular routine. Now in this space we're going to do 5 double crochets to do the popcorn stitch, slip stitch, turn it back. So once we do that first popcorn, this is going over the next few popcorns, we're going to do the decrease again. And the decrease is worked by working a double crochet 2 together around the next 2 popcorns. So there we go. You don't make a popcorn in there, otherwise you're not decreasing, okay? You just skip over that and go to the next popcorn. So whenever we're going to do a decrease, we're going to do 2 double crochet 2 together, skip that middle space and not do a popcorn, and then you're back into pattern where you're doing a popcorn in the next space between popcorns. That one right there. Turn it, slip stitch in the 5th, double crochet from the hook, come back, and then around this one we're going to work 1 double crochet on this side of the popcorn and then 1 double crochet on the next side of the popcorn. And we're going to finish off the row with a popcorn right there. Now it's getting tight, so you have to work carefully. Slip stitch right into there, turn it back, and then finish off with a double crochet in front of the next popcorn stitch. This chain up represents the double crochet on the other side, so all we have to do is slip stitch into the top of it. And it's tight, but we'll get it in there. So that's round 10. Now this opening has only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's decrease of 2 popcorn stitches. So we're going to take our stuffing and add a little bit of stuffing to it. Chain 3. That counts as a double crochet before the popcorn stitch. Then we're going to do a double crochet just after the popcorn. Then in the center between the decreases, we're going to work a popcorn stitch. Go back to the beginning, turn it, and go back here and slip stitch just to finish the popcorn, just like every time else. Now we're going to do a double crochet 2 together around the next 2 popcorns. So we pulled up and did an incomplete double crochet, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. 2 incomplete double crochets are right there, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. That's the first one. Skip here and then go before the next popcorn stitch and work another double crochet 2 together. There we go. Now we're going to work another popcorn stitch. Turn it, and then a double crochet in front of the next popcorn stitch and after the next popcorn stitch. So our next popcorn stitch goes in between these 2 double crochet decreases, or our double crochet 2 together. So we're going to complete 5 double crochets in that space. And then a double crochet decrease around the next popcorn stitch and another double crochet decrease around the next one. Okay, so we have one more space to work a popcorn in right there. And that brings us right back to the beginning of the round. And there's our chain 3. And so we're just going to slip stitch into the top of that chain to close the round. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 bumps left on this round. Now we're going to reduce to 3 bumps. So the first thing we're going to do is chain 3, count that as the first double crochet of the first popcorn stitch, and we're going to do a popcorn stitch right in that same space, right at the base of that chain up, so that we only need to add 4 double crochets right at the base. Slip stitch. We want to catch a little bit more than just a loop. We want to catch 2 loops at least. That brings us together. Then we're going to work a double crochet before the next popcorn, a double crochet after the next popcorn, and in the next space we're going to work another popcorn stitch. It's getting quite tight here, but we'll get there. Turn it, slip stitch to join it. So that's our second popcorn. And now we're going to work double crochet 2 together right around the next popcorn, skip this one, and a double crochet 2 together around the next popcorn stitch. Now we're going to slip stitch together. Right to the top of that first one. You have 3 popcorn stitches. So right at the base of this chain 3, you can work a popcorn stitch, because all you're going to do is work popcorn stitches between the popcorns of the row below. So that's right in between the 2 double crochets on that side. Then skip everything and go right in between the next popcorn stitches and work 5 double crochets to get that popcorn starting to form. Here's our 5th one. Slip stitch to that beginning, because it's getting really tight, but it makes the little point on the pine cone. So now you're going to just skip over to the next space on this side, which is right here. You're going to get right into it, and what it does is it sort of closes it up too, because we're not putting any double crochets in between. So that's the first one. Here's the second, third, fourth, and 5th. Turn it, slip stitch to the 5th double crochet from the hook, and finish it off. Now if you see, we have just made the little point at the tip of the pine cone. This is where you end off. Pull the end through and weave the ends in. Now that we have our pine cone all ready, let's trim it. You could use 1 strand of sports yarn or 2 strands of fingering or baby yarn, or you could use even strands of a worsted weight yarn, whatever you have in your scrap basket. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to chain 45, which gives me a length of about 8 to 10 inches. So there's my 45, and I'm just going to trim this off and pull this end through. And I'm going to weave in these ends. Then you're going to take your pine cone and just tie it a little bow. So there is our cute little pine cone, ready for the tree.
I hope you enjoyed making the crocheted pinecone ornament. It's the perfect winter holiday decoration. Please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of upcoming videos and events. Happy crocheting!